Hi everyone and welcome to Post to Post Productions. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you're new, my name is Neil and I'm here to predict every single reverse retro coming out next season. Yeah, reverse retros are coming back. It's been announced, but not officially, but it's, we've heard the rumors. The rumors are good. They come from reliable sources. It sounds like they're coming back, like 100%. And not only are they coming back, but I've got some insight into what some of the designs are going to be. I've got some connections that work for a couple of teams, for Adidas themselves, but there are some teams I have no idea about. So we're going to go through every single team. I'm going to tell you what the prediction is, and I've worked with the designer to come up with the designs. He's done all 32 for me, so we've got concepts to look at based on what I've heard and what I think is going to happen, and that's really what it comes down to. Is 3 different sections: what I have heard that is going to happen, what I want to happen, and what I think should happen. So while this is labeled a prediction video, some of the ones in here, maybe like 4 or 5, are pretty selfish. They're what I want to happen, not necessarily what I've heard is going to happen or what I think is going to happen. So a little bit of a complicated video, but it's going to be a lot of fun. If you're new, we'd love it if you could hit the subscribe button and join me here for all kinds of jersey talk. But let's get into it, and let's start off with alphabetical order as far as abbreviation. Anaheim, okay? Now let's bring it up. Now, before I go any further, you can see my prediction here. You can see the inspiration of where it comes from. You probably got a lot of questions because it's identical of something that existed in the past. I'm going to answer your questions here in a second and give you some insight. But I just want to give a massive shout out to Orion Taylor, who is the concept designer here. I worked with him in the last 5 or 6 days. I told him all the insight that I have, and so that could help him build these concepts, and he turned it around in like 4 days. This video was planned for 3 weeks from now because I was not expecting the designer that I was going to work with, or any designer, whatever, to be able to turn it around so quickly, and he did. So massive shout out to Orion Taylor. I have his links up there, and then he's got his own site, orionataylor.ca. Please go check him out. Amazing concept designer, as you're about to see going through here. He deserves your follow, and let's have some fun. So Anaheim, as you can see, the jersey up there, my prediction is one that already exists. So this is one of the ones that I don't necessarily want to happen, but I've got a little bit of an insight here. So I was told that Anaheim is kind of batting around 2 options. Option number 1 is doing something really, really bold, like the reverse retro that they did have, which I think is actually, just over my shoulder here to the right. So that's one thing that they're kind of playing around with, not exactly that, but something bold like that, something really unique and kind of different than our typical hockey jersey. And the other thing they're considering doing is a white version, or this, what you see here, of a jersey that already existed. So technically it's not reverse retro, but it is retro. It is what the fans want. So I think because they did the bold version the first time, and they're considering doing something a little bit more simple, I suspect that they're going to go with the simple route just for the fans. They know the fans want this, so I have a feeling that we might see this in the future. But let's move on to the next team, and that is going to be Arizona, the team that I decided to wear here. Now, Arizona is a funny one. I did ask one contact here who I thought may know, but they didn't know or they wouldn't tell me, so I have zero insight on what the Arizona Coyotes reverse retro is going to be. It's really a shot in the dark here because I looked at their past, their jersey history past. I looked at their this reverse retro, and I thought, where's the team going as far as brand? Kachina. So they're back full-time with the Kachina, home and away. They've got the previous jersey as an alternate, technically. And then they've got the, this reverse retro, which is Kachina inspired for sure. So what else could they do? Well, I think they might just do a white version of this. That's the simple answer. Number 1, it's going to sell so well. Number 2, it looks good. And number 3, it matches the rest of the brand. So this feels like an easy decision, but I have no contacts or insight into any validity behind this. This is more so of what I think they're going to do. Not even necessarily what I want them to do, but what I think they're going to do. So let's move on to the next team. The Boston Bruins. Now, I'm actually told that they're going to wait to essentially the last minute to make a decision. They've got 2 designs that they're considering, apparently. One is that kind of Pooh Bear jersey with the kind of slashes or shreds from 1995 to 2006-ish era. And that is one of the things that they're considering. It's kind of a bold jersey. I'm not sure how it would be received. Probably quite well, I think, with jersey collectors. Not sure about Boston Bruins fans. And the other design they're considering is basically a white version of the Reebok jersey that they had as an alternate a couple of years ago. You can see the inspiration shot down there. So essentially a very simple jersey, a white version of that, and technically that would be a reverse retro, so it fits in with the theme from Adidas. And I will say that this source isn't super reliable. No offense to that source if you're watching, but I don't take this one for the grain of salt. but there could be some validity here. There could be some actual fact behind this. So I guess we'll see. All right, the Buffalo Sabres. This one is a crazy one. So you can see here that my prediction is going to be a white version of the Buffalo Slug jersey with updated royal blue colors. Now, I went with this direction because, well, I've actually heard two different things. And I know someone who works for the team, they told me one thing, and I know someone who works in merchandising and deals with Adidas, and they told me another thing. Completely different things. So I don't know who to trust. I guess we'll find out. But this is one of the things that was told. The Buffalo Slug white version with the updated royal blue colors. The other one that I was told was a white version of the goat head jersey. Now, we already know that the goat head jersey is coming back as an alternate next season. So is that the actual right, is that the right decision? Is that what's actually going to happen here to balance off with that reverse retro? That could be amazing. But I tend to trust the source more who told me this, which is the white version of the Buffalo Slug with the updated colors. I don't know. This is a bit of a tricky one. And by the way, I'm not expecting you to believe me. I don't even care if you believe me. I'm just telling you what people have told me that I know in the industry. I don't take any information from random people that I don't know who don't work in the industry and put them into these videos and make predictions. Any prediction that I make, that I say that I have a source, actually works in the industry. So, some of those people may be lying or maybe they have incorrect information. I'm not sure. But all the information I have that comes from a source, it works in the industry, just so you guys know. Again, I don't care if you believe me. We'll find out in a couple of months of who's right and who's wrong. It doesn't really matter. It's about looking at these concepts because it's fun. Okay, Carolina, this one is really a shot in the dark. I have absolutely zero insight or information on this one. And I look back in their jersey history, and I was dumbfounded. I really had no idea what they could possibly do for a reverse retro. I really do not think that they're going to do a Hartford Whalers thing again. I think that's done. They've got their one night a year, or one night a season, I guess, that they do their Hartford Whalers appreciation thing now. They just had it the other night, but I don't know. So I'm really confused by this one. This is more so of, I guess, in between what I think and what I want, I guess. I don't know what I want from Carolina as a reverse retro, but I chose the white version of a previous alternate jersey that they had. I don't love it, but they only have the option to do something new. But at that sense, is it reverse retro? No. So I'm really torn here. I have no idea what Carolina's going to do. If you've got inside info, let me know. Okay, Columbus. This one is actually a little bit drama-filled. I am told that there's confliction between the Columbus Blue Jackets and Adidas/NHL. Adidas and the NHL want Columbus to do a little bit more subdued version of one of their jerseys, maybe the alternate jersey, a white version of the alternate jersey, because they weren't happy with the reaction of a lot of the public, not public, hockey fans towards the previous Columbus Blue Jackets jersey, because it was a red jersey. They're called the Columbus Blue Jackets, and it was a red jersey. So I'm hearing that the NHL and Adidas is trying to push Columbus to be a little bit more safe, I guess. But Columbus wants to do something bold again, like more bold than their original reverse retro. So there's confliction there. I don't know which direction it's going to go, but I'm going to predict that they're going to go with the white version of the alternate jersey. It would be loved by many. It's got a cannon on it. Anytime you put a cannon on anything, I'm going to love it. I don't know about you, but I'm going to love it. So this is my prediction for the Columbus Blue Jackets. Okay, the Calgary Flames. This one I'm really, really excited about this one, guys. So I've been told that this is pretty much set in stone. Like, this is going to happen. It's the exact jersey that I wanted them to bring back. So I was so excited when I heard this from my source. But it is the 90s. I always think it was the 80s version of this jersey. It's actually in the 90s that they wore this, I think. But it's this version of the jersey, but not red. It's black. Now, there's a bit of conflicting. They're not decided on whether they want to go with black as a primary color or red. Red would just be a version of the jersey that was already existed, so it's not technically reverse. But the black version, which Orion did up here beautifully, I think it looks so good. It's really, really interesting. So I kind of hope they go with the black version. But like I said, apparently this is set in stone. This is going to be the Calgary Flames reverse retro. I guess we'll see. I hope it is. I really hope I can trust that source for future content as well. But yeah, really cool one here. I'm excited for this one. Okay, Chicago Blackhawks. Total radio silence on this one. I asked 2 or 3 sources in the industry, and I got no info. Either they didn't know or they didn't want to tell me. So I'm just going on gut instinct here, and really, I guess so maybe what I want. This is one of the ones I want. So there's a version of the Chicago Blackhawks jersey from a long, long time ago that was used, and I think maybe they would consider doing an inverse version of that. It's a very old school logo, and I love the striping in the background. The concept that Orion did was incredible. I love this concept. So I really do hope they go with something like this. Again, I have no info, just kind of what I want. All right, Colorado, one of my favorite teams, and you guys probably already heard this rumor. It was kind of leaked. So I've heard it from 4 different people, 3 of which work for the team. So I'm really trusting this one as this is pretty much set in stone. So this has to happen. It is a white version of the Colorado Rockies jersey, inspired from the Colorado state flag colors, and you can see those on the shoulder. I got Ryan to put those on. So I assume that this is basically exactly what we're going to see. Maybe not exactly. The striping might be a little bit different. We might see more yellow than blue, or vice versa, whatever. But I think this is basically going to happen. And other people are reporting this as well, so I feel very confident about this one. And I'm very excited for it. 100% going to buy this one. Okay, Dallas Stars. I tried endlessly to try to get info on this one because I really, really wanted to know, and nobody would tell me anything. And if they did know, they just didn't want to tell me. So I've picked that they're going to do a white version of the Motorist, and I'll tell you why. They just came out with a specialty jersey, which is the Star jersey that was just for the Zubov retirement night. I suspect, because there's so much love for that jersey, that they're going to bring that jersey back as an alternate jersey, not as a one-time series reverse retro thing, which would be awesome, but a permanent alternate. Because of that, I think they're looking at the reverse retro as a one-time series. They don't want to waste a potential white version of that jersey either on a reverse retro. So I think they're going to do kind of what the fans want. It's a bit of a meme jersey. It's the Motorist jersey. So I think they're going to give us a white version of the Motorist jersey because they really dropped the ball on the reverse retro before. Not a lot of people liked it at all. So I think they've seen that. I think they know their market. And I know that they need to embrace the meme, I guess, with this one. And they've actually done that on Twitter, not so much in a concept teaser or anything like that, but they know the Motorist exists. They've used the term on their Twitter, so you never know. Okay, Detroit, I've heard absolutely nothing as far as Detroit. I don't think I've ever heard any inside rumors or whatever from Detroit or around Detroit or whatever from the industry that have come true or in general. Like, it's just a pretty radio silence organization. And I have nothing to go on. So this is really just kind of a prediction of what I think they'll do. Detroit is such a low-key team as far as a brand. They don't change things. They don't necessarily come out with new things very often. Their reverse retro that came out was basically a practice jersey. It was nothing as far as interesting or innovative design. It was just a jersey, and everyone forgot about it. And you can still buy it because no one wants to buy it. It's in stock on a lot of places. So I don't know what they're going to do. I don't think they're going to do anything crazy or modern. I think they're going to do kind of a dark version of the jersey that you see down below, which is a really, really old version of the Detroit Cougars jersey, I believe, from like 1926 or something like that. And I think they're just going to do a dark version of that. And I think they had a 1992 75th anniversary jersey that was similar, possibly. But I don't know what else they're going to do. So I have no idea. This is my best guess. Okay, Edmonton Oilers. I've heard, again, nothing from the Edmonton Oilers, whether it's from Adidas or anyone that works for the team. I actually know someone who works for the team. I asked, they didn't know. So I have nothing to go on here. And I look back at their history, and they've kind of done everything. The only thing that they have not done is the COG jersey, and it's reverse retro. So I don't think they're going to do a regular blue version of the COG jersey. I think they're going to do a white version. I think it would be well received. I don't think it's too out there that the regular Edmonton Oilers fans would absolutely hate it and despise it. It is part of their history. It's not something new. They're not trying to innovate right now. They tried to innovate back then. It didn't really work out. But since then, it's kind of become a bit of an icon jersey. So this is what I think they're going to do. Again, no inside info on this, just what I want. Florida Panthers. Now, I'm told by one source and one source only that they are considering a couple designs, but the only thing that they would be willing to tell me was that one of the designs is a white version of their Reebok alternate jersey that they use, the blue one, the blue and 2 shades of blue or whatever. So we can see it on the screen here, and I think it looks beautiful. Orion did a wonderfully perfect job on this concept, and I think if this existed, it would sell so well. It would be one of the most popular reverse retro jerseys, and it's not even that retro. It's maybe less than 10 years ago or 10 years ago, so it's not that old, but it just looks so good, at least in this concept. I personally think so. So again, one source here, so not super confident on this one, but you never know, so we'll keep our eye out on this one for sure. The LA Kings, my favorite reverse retro from the previous series. And I am told by 2 sources that they want to do a white version of the jersey, which you see here, because they absolutely know it's going to be received well. It's a very low risk, high reward, low risk decision. So I'm pretty sure they're going to go with this. However, they are also considering maybe something else, but I was told nothing on what the other thing was. Now, I know for an absolute fact that the LA Kings, when they came out with a reverse retro last year to Adidas, they had a design, and then Adidas sent it to some of the retailers as an example of what they could expect. Since that was sent out, the LA Kings completely changed their mind and went with something totally new last minute, which is the reverse retro that we know to this day. So I don't know from the LA Kings. They may change their mind last minute again. There was a lot of shock in the industry when that new one came out because a lot of people were expecting the other one, and boom, they saw something that they weren't expecting. They were very happy with it, but it's still something they weren't expecting. So you never know with LA. So I'm just going to predict that they're going to go with the white version because it's the high reward, low risk. Minnesota Wild, I've got absolutely zero information on this one. I'm not even sure what I think they're going to do. This is kind of just what I want them to do. It's the dark version of the reverse retro. It received a lot of heat because it looked like a Subway jersey by itself on its own. I don't even disagree. But on the ice in full uniform, it was absolutely one of the most beautiful uniforms and reverse retro jerseys in ever. Like it looks so good in uniform, and I'm just a huge fan of it. So I kind of think that they know that as well, because a lot of people felt the same way. The jersey by itself, meh. Full uniform, wow, amazing. So if they know that, they may come out with a dark version of the jersey, and I think it would be received well. You're still going to get people calling it the Subway jersey. They wouldn't be wrong. But I think in full uniform, wow, this could be a doozy. My Montreal Canadiens, my favorite team, zero information here. They are always totally radio silent. You never get anything from the Montreal Canadiens. So this is a complete shot in the dark, and they don't come out with jerseys very often, and when they do, they're not that modern. So I have no idea what they're going to do. I just simply think that they're going to do a retake in Adidas of the Winter Classic jersey that I had in Reebok. This is not reverse. It's barely even a retro, but people love that jersey. So I think they're a low risk team. So I suspect they're going to take a low risk option, and I think this is a low risk option because I know people would really like it. It's not reverse retro. It's not even barely retro, but it is a nice jersey. So I don't know. Okay, I'm excited for this one. New Jersey Devils. I was told by two sources, both which I actually kind of loosely trust. I don't know them that well, but they are in the industry, so I trust them a little bit. But they both told me separately the same thing, which is a really good sign. And that's this: a Kansas City Scouts version with the New Jersey Devils logo on top of it. If I were to pick anything for the Devils to do, this would probably be it. So I was super thrilled to hear this. I don't know how true it is, actually. I don't know if this is actually what they're going to do, but if they did do this, I think it would be so well received by everyone. A lot of people would buy this jersey. And that logo colorized like that, damn, that looks good. Okay, Nashville Predators. I've got zero information or inside knowledge on this one. I haven't heard a single thing, but I look at their history, and I look at their fan base, and I look at jersey collectors in general. What do they want? What do people want? I think it's the blue. I think it's the blue back and not so much yellow. Keep the yellow in there. It's a lovely color. It's a lovely accent color for sure. But let's make the primary blue. The reverse retro that they did is amazing. It is one of the best reverse retros. I'm so in love with it, specifically in person. It just blew my mind. I think it's very underrated, but it's very close to the home jersey at the same time. So I think that they know what people want in general, and that is the original colors kind of back. So while this isn't technically reverse, it is retro, and they know it would be well received. So I'm sure there'll be a reverse option in here that doesn't make it look like this, but I think they got to go with something similar for sure because people would love it. Okay, the Islanders, 100% a selfish prediction here. I've got zero information for you from any sources. In fact, I think they're not going to go with this version because it's the Fisherman. They will not. Lou Lamoriello will not allow this Fisherman jersey to come out. It's just, I'm very confident in that, but I don't care. Okay, this is a selfish prediction. This is what I want. You guys know it if you've watched the channel. A lot of other people out there want it. It would be, if this came out, it would be instantly the most popular reverse retro. It would sell it quickest, it would sell the most, and it would be adored by so many people. It's just the stubbornness of the Islanders that are not going to let it come out, which is fine. Maybe it'll come out in the future, but for right now, this is what I want. All right, the Rangers. I'm actually excited about this one because I usually never hear any inside info for the Rangers, but I got something from one source, and they said that the Rangers are considering going back to their original jersey, which was a lighter blue, which is what you see here. And I thought, well, that's kind of weird. It's basically the home jersey, just a different shade of blue, essentially. And then I got Ryan to do the mock-up, and it looks incredible. Like I actually really like this jersey a lot. That lighter shade of blue with the red and the white, like that's amazing. It is so close to the home jersey, but damn, it looks good. I think so anyway. So who knows? They probably won't do it because it's not technically reverse, but You never know. If they did, I think it would sell well for sure. Okay, Ottawa Senators. I've actually heard from a source that they're tossing around multiple ideas, and they've got some concepts out there. They're just waiting on feedback. That's kind of the stage that they're at right now. And one of them is essentially this. It's the white version of a jersey that they used in the mid-2000s. And Orion did a lovely job here. I think it looks really good. I think this would sell well. And it's very modern, even though they've gone back to a kind of a retro theme here in their new jerseys. Their reverse retro would be more modern than their current modern jerseys. Does that make sense? So I don't know, a bit of a weird one, but I think this would definitely sell well, and I do trust this source. So although there are multiple ideas floating around, I'm very happy to hear that this was one of them. So I hope they go with this one. Okay, Philadelphia Flyers. I've got nothing here, guys. No info whatsoever. And I looked at their history, and there's actually probably a couple things that they could do, but I'm thinking retro. And nothing gets more retro than the Quakers, the old Quakers jersey. So I thought that maybe they could do kind of their version of that jersey with their branding, with the orange and the black, and change up the logo. So I got Orion to do that, and he did an update version on the logo to say Flyers instead of Quakers. He did it beautifully. The numbers, difficult to see, and obviously, but still a really cool jersey. I think it would sell surprisingly well because it really fits the retro theme. And I think people would really gravitate to it easily. So good job, Orion, here on this one. And who knows? Pittsburgh Penguins. I wish I had inside info here, but I have none. And this is essentially what I want them to do. This is their original colors done in the, I think it was a Winter Classic jersey, but with a different logo. It's a Robo Penguin logo. This is kind of exactly what I want them to do. I don't think they're actually going to do it. Like I said, I got zero info. But this is what I want. This is one of those selfish predictions. I want the Robo Penguin on the original colors, and we're talking huge money from me. All right, Seattle. I've got zero information here, but I think there's only one thing that they kind of can do, is that Metropolitan jersey or a variation of it. So I got Orion to kind of do a modern concept of the original jersey. This would sell so well. As this, I would buy this instantly. Like, instantly. I don't know if I'd get it stitched, but I would definitely buy it because it's so unique. It is so vibrant. And it's Seattle. Seattle's new, and Seattle's exciting, and this jersey's crazy in general, so I gotta have it. So I hope they do this. Again, no inside info. I hope they do it. Okay, San Jose. I do have one semi-trustworthy source here for this one. I'm told that they are going to do the white version of the 30th anniversary jersey. They were very receptive of feedback from the release of the alternate jersey from last year, which was the 30th anniversary jersey. And they really understood that people were kind of disappointed with that. They were highly expecting the white version, and they didn't get it. And the team apparently is like, oh, we made a bit of a mistake there. So they've listened to that, I guess, from the source, and they're going to do a white version of the 30th anniversary jersey. Cross my fingers. Hope they do, actually, because I really like this concept, and I think it would sell well. So the St. Louis Blues, this one's a really difficult one for me because I've heard two different things from two different sources. One which I trust quite a bit, actually, but I don't know. This one's tricky. I'm actually not going to go with either of what they told me. One of the sources said they're going to do something completely new that looks retro. The other source told me that they're going to do a dark version of their original jersey, one of their original jerseys anyway. I don't know if it's the original jersey. But I'm going to say no to both of those, and I'm going to go out on a bit of a limb here, and I'm just going to predict that they're going to do a white version of that 90s jersey that they had. Now, it's not technically reverse, so I'm probably wrong, obviously, but I think this would be well received. It also matches the previous reverse retro. It also matches the alternate jersey, so it fits right in with their brand. It would be considered retro, and I think St. Louis fans in general would like it. So I don't know. This one's difficult. I have no confidence really behind this one very much, but if I hear anything, I'll let you guys know. Now, Tampa Bay is a funny one because usually I'm always told the inside juicy info on Tampa. I typically know what the jerseys are going to be before they come out. Not this time. I've got nothing. I've got no information from anyone on Tampa Bay Lightning jerseys. So I just I told Orion to kind of create an inverse version of that crazy jersey from the 90s because that's what I want. Maybe not exactly what I want, but after he did it, after he sent me the concept, I was like, holy crap, that looks rad. That actually looks really good. It's very gimmicky. It's very memey, but I think it would sell very well, and it's different, and it's cool. It'd be a cool sublimation print on the bottom. The logo would look really good in the new prime green. It's just everything I think would look really good in this jersey, so I really hope they do it. again, no info, just a prediction of a selfish prediction of what I want. Toronto Maple Leafs, I've got nothing for you guys. I've got no info on this one. I have no idea what they're even going to do. Toronto has a lot of jerseys. They've got the St. Pat's jersey. They've got the Arenas jersey. They've got the reverse retro. They've got the home, the away. They've got the Stadium Series jersey and Adidas. Am I missing one? I feel like I'm missing one. They've got a lot of jerseys. Even in the Reebok jerseys, Reebok era, they had a lot of jerseys. They're not like Montreal. Toronto really embraces kind of a lot of jerseys. So I don't know what they're going to do. I really have no idea. So I'm going to just put a little bit of a prediction out here. They're going to go with a white version of the jersey that you see in the bottom right, which I think was a Winter Classic or Stadium Series jersey. I don't think it was an alternate. I think it was for a special game. Down on the bottom there, I think just kind of a white version of that. A shot in the dark here. I have no idea about Toronto Maple Leafs. The Vancouver Canucks. I'm going to go against a source, and this is not a smart thing to do. The source told me that they're going with an extremely bold black, yellow, and red version of that V jersey, that crazy one. But I just don't think that's going to happen. I just don't feel like that's realistic. I think a lot of people would make fun of it. Someone like me would buy it, obviously, because I collect jerseys, and it would be amazing to have. But I think the general public would just really not like that jersey. So I'm going to go against a source here, which is, again, not a smart thing to do. This is what I want them to do and what I think they should do. The Heritage Classic jersey in the Reebok years from, I guess it was maybe 10 years ago, was so well received, and it is so well received still to this day, that I think if they did a reverse retro version of that, a white version with maybe not white, but just like a little bit of an off-white, not cream, not too dark, but just a light version, but not strictly white, I think it would be so popular. And just looking at this concept, I would buy this instantly. I think it would be one of the most popular reverse retros. Unique colors. We don't get these colors enough. And I just, again, maybe not smart going against the source, but I just feel like this is what they should do, and this is what I want them to do. So I'm going to put this out into the universe and see what happens. Vegas. Typically, I'm told what's going to happen with Vegas a little bit before they release a jersey. I've got nothing here. No one's told me anything. And I don't even know what they would do. So I just kind of told Orion to make a reverse retro jersey, but white, and put the Vegas text down the front. He did a really good job on the text, actually. I allowed him some creativity. I didn't tell him the exact details on a lot of stuff, and he went with it, and he did a wonderful job on like 99.9% of the concepts that he sent. I think there was only 2 of the 32 that he sent me. There were only 2 adjustments that I got him to do. One was on the Pittsburgh jersey, and the other one was on, I don't even remember. He knocked it out of the park. So while I don't necessarily like this jersey, I don't know what else they would do. So this is kind of what I'm putting out there. Who knows? Winnipeg Jets, I'm told they're going straight back to the original style jersey. No reverse about it. They're just going to come out with essentially an identical version of a jersey that existed in their past, which you can see the inspiration from down on the right. And if they did, my God, this would sell well. This would sell so unbelievably well. It would look incredible in a uniform. It would be adored by other teams, I think. It's just so nostalgic and iconic. This would be a sellout, absolutely, and it would be much better than their previous reverse retro, although I'd like that one a lot. I know I'm in the minority, but I like it. Let's move on to the next team. Next team, and the final team, the Washington Capitals. I have no information on this one, unfortunately, but I look at the reverse retro, and they did a wonderful job. It was incredibly popular, so popular, probably the most popular one next to LA, I think, or maybe, I remember looking at statistics as to what sold out first at certain stores, but I can't remember exactly. But this is, like, the concept that I put up here is essentially the same jersey, but with the original colors. And I think that's what a lot of people want. It's what I selfishly want. So no inside info here, just kind of putting out what I would like and what I think that they should do as well. Not even from a selfish perspective, but just because it would sell incredibly well. It's not reverse, but it is retro, and it would sell super well. All right, there you have it, guys. There are all my predictions. Some of them with sources, some of them without sources, some of them just selfishly of what I want and maybe what I think the team should do. So take it for what it's worth. I don't think I'm going to be right on all of these. I know for sure that probably 2 are basically set in stone. But other than that, who knows what could happen. Even the ones that I think are set in stone, that I'm told are set in stone, they could also change last minute. It doesn't matter what's coming. I'm excited for it. It's reverse retro. 32 new jerseys coming up next season. Very, very excited for it. If I get any more info, I will let you guys know. So hit the subscribe button down below and stay informed, whether it's by me or anyone else. Stay informed with these jerseys and the leaks and everything. And I'll definitely be talking about lots of reverse retro stuff in the future. Big, giant, massive, incredible shout out to Orion Taylor for coming up with these concepts, and not only coming up with them, but turning them around in basically 3 or 4 days. What an absolute legend. Please guys go follow him on social media. It's on the graphic there from the previous slides of the 32 jerseys. It's just at Orion A. Taylor. Please go follow him. He deserves your follow. He is very, very talented. Hope you guys are having a great day. Please hit the subscribe button. I'll talk to you in the future. Adios.